I want everyone to have access to this because what I've done is embedded links within this presentation and all of the images you're going to see today. So my name is Clarin Collins. I'm the Director of Scholarly Initiatives here at the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College. And I'm usually the one behind the scenes of the Learning Futures Collaboratives. And this is a really large new research initiative that we have officially gotten underway this past year. And so I'm speaking on behalf of so many people and amazing teams and leaders here at the Teachers College. So I encourage everybody to access this afterwards to learn more, because I am a small piece in this giant, amazing, complex puzzle. So today I'm going to go over briefly what the Learning Futures Collaboratives, which because it's a mouthful, we refer to as LFCs, what they are, why they are important, and how to get involved if this is of interest to you. So first, the why and the what. And we have the why and the what because the how and where education happens has been rapidly and significantly changing. If we think about the context in which education is delivered or received, there are a lot of really complicated events that have made this more complex. And this is just a list of some of them up there: global climate change, rise of technologies, surveillance capitalism, artificial intelligence, the pandemic, increasing numbers of migrants and refugees. So these are a few. And so as a result, we have these teams that are tackling these really complex questions and challenges, considering a lot of the contextual things that I just mentioned. And so what we are doing is trying to address these really large, complicated challenges with interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary teams. The reality is that these questions and challenges are so large and complex that they cannot be addressed by or considered by an individual without the necessary team. And so we have put together like a call for proposals about a year ago after conceptualizing what this could actually look like, and teams responded. And the requirements were that you must have together a collaborative team with differentiated experience and expertise, because again, an individual cannot be able to cannot challenge cannot begin to address these complex issues and challenges without that differentiated experience and expertise. The additional requirement was that these teams be intentionally future focused. In some regard, everything we do with education is future focused because we are teaching people content to be used in the future, preparing people for careers in the future. But the goal for all of these LFCs is that they really be intentional about thinking of what does the future hold for the people included in these LFCs and the issues that they're tackling. So we are supporting these groups through a small grant program, $15,000 or less. And most of this money is being used to support convenings, food needed for these convenings, graduate student research support, speaker honorariums, books, materials that they might need to further investigate these topics. And the teams, again, are made up of faculty, doctoral students or master's level students, researchers and practitioners that are both inside and outside of the university. And we've got some very global engagement with some of these already. So these are the 5 topics that our LFCs are currently tackling: designing the new American high school, education, sustainability, and global futures, educating across refugee immigrant networks, or the LEARN, futures of artificial intelligence and education and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and imagination and futures thinking for K-12. So if you are already like, oh my gosh, this seems incredible and like a lot of work is going on, it is. So I thought I would give a quick preview in the words of some of our participants. So I'm going to show this quick video and then give you a highlight of what each of the groups are currently working on.
Often people feel that the future is just something that happens to them. And we want to change that perspective. We want young people to see that their decisions matter and that their voice matters.
We need to position youth with a voice and with the capacity to act and influence the global future that we're all a part of.
We're really rooted in those kind of urgent questions of right now. The future is demanding far more and something actually quite different.
And the real broad question is, who needs to weigh in on this, right? And how can we get these people together? And then what can we do?
Again, when we're talking about broad, wicked questions in education, they're not going to be solved by just one person or even by a small group of people. They need a large group of folks who can come together with different resources, responsibilities, different passions to tackle these big issues.
I think this is what the Learning Futures collaboratives are all about, is breaking down these silos and creating space for our faculty to connect and to explore possibilities in ways that we might not typically or ordinarily.
Some of the LFCs are both drawing on folks from different units across campus, but also from the community. In fact, we've got plans to work with other universities and institutions across the world.
We need to be thought partners. We need to be challenging things. We need to be making mistakes intellectually. And when we need to be doing that with others.
Those kinds of experiences seem powerful because multiple visions get out there and people can play with them together. People can seed each other's imaginations, even in small ways, about the possibilities for the future.
The outcome isn't about simply producing a paper. This is about bringing networks together and forging an alliance and a vision.
I truly believe we have to change the way in which we think about research, educational research, scholarship, and sort of the future of learning.
We are in a world where change is happening faster and faster than ever before. To create better futures, we need to form a community that doesn't just include an academic audience. This work is in service towards our youth, in service towards young people, to show them that the future is something that they can shape and they can build, and we're going to give them the tools to be able to do that.
Awesome. So what a great trailer or preview for the LFCs. And again, all of these images here link to each LFC's website. And you'll notice on these slides, as I very briefly go over what each of these LFCs are investigating, the focus is truly on this future-focused research question, and the teams are so large that I couldn't fit individual names on these slides. So I just want to reiterate that these challenges, these questions that these groups are tackling require so many people and expertise and experiences on board. So that's why you're not seeing the names of individuals here, but on the website, it is included so you can know who to reach out to. So the Imagination and Futures Thinking Group, every bold slide up here, the question right underneath the title is the future focused question that they're tackling, which I won't read to you, but I wanted to try to give you an example with their approach of what these guys are actually working on. So one way that this working group is looking at how to integrate futures thinking into K-12 is they've developed a workshop, which is actually a game that can be used with middle school students to help them take agency into designing their own unique, equitable futures. With the futures of artificial intelligence in education and DEI, they are interested in looking at how AI can transform education, but always ensuring that there's a human-centered approach, a human-centered design to integrate and inform critical issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Designing the New American High School. This is a little bit of a play on the New American University. This group is bringing together scholars and practitioners from inside and outside of the ASU community to kind of look at examples of innovative high school models, understand the various barriers and challenges to the educational system, and then also look at successful reform effort in recent years. So they're bringing people together who have all these different experiences. Education, sustainability, and global futures. This group is really thinking about how to reimagine and reconfigure education towards the future and survival of the planet and the people on it. So far, they have 4 strands of research: the learning, research, engagement, and institutions and systems. And across these 4 strands, they have 11 working groups currently. And just one example of a project that cuts across each of those 4 strands is that they are creating a new master's degree program. And the unique tie-in here is that the thesis requires involvement and collaboration with a community organization to think about sustainable futures. Learn is really focused on critical conversations. This group has our most global reach right now. They have brought together refugees, educators, and researchers from global and community organizations to really make sure people are recognizing and aware of all the different education of refugees and immigrants. Okay, I thought that was last. And so the reality is we are just getting started. I want to reiterate that this work is so complex that it can't be neatly completed within a grant cycle. So this is our first official year of funding these LFCs, which is primarily being used across all of them as like network and community building, developing the background knowledge that they'll need to continue this work. Year 2 will likely be more conceptualized research agendas. But we are really at that point of sharing out the work that these groups are involved in and wondering who else might need to be at the table. What perspectives have we not yet included? So if any of this sounds interesting to you, or if you know of other organizations that should be connected, we really do encourage you to reach out. And lastly, this was one slide and an article from Ed Researcher, but education is in the need of creative invention to make it work better. So at the end of the day, we're all looking forward to finding ways to think about education and make sure we have a future in which we can continue to deliver it. And lastly, I just want to share all the images from this slide and that you'll see on the website as you visit were from DALL-E 2, which is an open AI platform that creates images. So just wanted to give that little shout out. And that is it. I will drop the link to this presentation in the chat, which again, you can visit all of the unique websites, and I encourage anyone to reach out, and I'm happy to connect you with who you would best be connected with. Thank you.